Let's go Dolphins! Right now, behind the scenes at Dolphins headquarters, a name is being whispered with growing certainty. A candidate who has suddenly emerged as the frontrunner. A man who, according to inside sources, has already won over the front office. But will he be the answer, or just another gamble that could backfire? Before I reveal the full story, do your part if you're a true Dolphins fan. Click the like button right now, and tell me in the comments, go Dolphins! I'm ready for the truth, no matter how surprising it is. Because believe me, what you're about to hear, it's not just another rumor. It's a window into the Dolphins' next big move, and it's going to get the fans buzzing. Let's go! Alright, let's talk about the man of the moment, Jeff Hafley. The buzz is real. Sources across the league, from Tom Pelissero to Jordan Schultz to Albert Breer, are all pointing to Hafley as the leading candidate to become the Miami Dolphins' next head coach. And here's the kicker. The Dolphins' new GM, John Eric Sullivan, is reportedly all in on Hafley. These two go way back. Their relationship from their Green Bay Packers days is fueling this entire move. And right now, the connection is paying off. Jeff Hafley is more than just a name in the rumor mill. He's the hot commodity in this coaching cycle. The Titans, Raiders, Steelers, Cardinals, and Browns all want him. But the buzz around the league says Miami has the inside track. And if you're wondering why, it's simple. Hafley apparently blew away Dolphins executives in his first virtual interview. Multiple insiders confirm he impressed so much that he instantly became the front runner. Let's be clear, this isn't just speculation. The Dolphins have already set up a second in-person interview with Hafley, and the tone has shifted from let's see to he's our guy. Other teams may be lining up, but Miami has something the others don't. A GM who knows Hafley, trusts him, and wants to build the future with him at the helm. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Rooney Rule. There's growing frustration among fans and analysts alike that Miami may be interviewing minority candidates like Patrick Graham and Kelvin Shepard just to satisfy a requirement, knowing full well they're locking in on Hafley. Whether that's fair or not, it's a conversation that's now part of this coaching search, and it could create tension if the hire feels predetermined. Back to Hafley, this guy is no stranger to leadership. He was head coach at Boston College, where he developed a reputation for being tough, strategic, and a strong communicator. But it's his defensive mind that has people excited. With Miami leaning hard toward hiring a defensive coach this cycle, Hafley fits that blueprint perfectly. And remember, Miami interviewed 11 candidates, but now it's clearly narrowing down to the final moves. Even Barry Jackson reported that reps from one of the interviewed candidates believe it's now Hafley's job to lose. While that's not an official report, it lines up with everything we're hearing. Hafley is the guy. And with Kevin Stefanski seemingly heading to Atlanta, that door is officially closing. Stefanski has already had multiple interviews with the Falcons and Titans, and Atlanta moved quickly to jump ahead of Tennessee in scheduling. That tells you all you need to know. It's Hafley or bust for Miami. Now, this hire would mark the 7th consecutive time the Dolphins go with a first-time NFL head coach. That's a trend that hasn't exactly produced results. But the hope is that this time, the combination of a new GM in Sullivan and a clear plan with Hafley could break the cycle. It's about pairing the right coach with the right front office, and Dolphins fans are praying this is finally the one that sticks. And here's where it gets even more intense, because Jeff Hafley isn't just a name that's trending on every insider's list. He's a candidate with momentum, backing, and now a legitimate decision to make. With interviews lined up across the league, including with the Titans, Raiders, Cardinals, Browns, and Steelers, Hafley could essentially choose where he wants to coach next. And if that choice is Miami, it will be because of more than just the roster. It'll be because of trust, alignment, and vision shared with GM John Eric Sullivan. Now let's be honest, this kind of synergy between head coach and general manager is something the Dolphins have lacked in recent years. We've seen talented rosters get derailed by poor coaching decisions, inconsistent leadership, and disconnects between the front office and the coaching staff. Hafley and Sullivan already share history, language, and perspective. That alignment could be the most underrated advantage Miami has in this sweepstakes. But here's the risk. Jeff Hafley, while highly respected, is still unproven at the NFL level as a head coach. His stint at Boston College showed strong leadership and player development, but he hasn't yet navigated the pressure cooker of a pro locker room as the top guy. And for a team like Miami, with playoff expectations and a hungry fan base, that's a big leap. Can he command the room? Can he make the right calls in the fourth quarter of a division game? Can he take Tua, or any future QB, deep into January football? Those are the questions fans are debating right now. But Hafley's supporters would point to his defensive brilliance, his calm under pressure, and his ability to develop players, especially on the back end. And let's face it, Miami's defense has been inconsistent at best over the past few years. If Hafley brings in the right offensive coordinator and builds a staff that complements his strengths, we could be talking about one of the most well-balanced coaching staffs Miami has had in over a decade. And yes, you heard that right, staff, because whoever lands this job isn't doing it alone. The Dolphins know that bringing in a first-time NFL head coach means surrounding him with seasoned coordinators and positional coaches who can support the transition. That's reportedly part of the plan if Hafley is hired. Find a strong offensive coordinator who can manage the QB room, handle game planning, and grow alongside Hafley. And speaking of quarterbacks, this decision will directly impact Tua Tagovailoa. If Miami commits to Hafley, they'll need to also commit to building an offensive system that not only protects Tua but maximizes maximizes his strengths. With extension talks looming and his future in Miami not fully settled, the incoming head coach will have a major say in the direction of the offense and possibly the trajectory of Tua's career. That's why this decision isn't just about 2026, it's about the next 5 to 10 years. Meanwhile, the Rooney Rule drama isn't going away. As we touched on earlier, several minority candidates were brought in for interviews: Kelvin Shepard, Patrick Graham, and reportedly Robert Saleh, though it's unclear if that meeting was virtual or in person. And now the optics are raising questions. If Hafley was the favorite all along, why go through the motions with other candidates? It's a tough, uncomfortable conversation, but one that's gaining traction across NFL circles. Still, for the Dolphins, this all comes down to one thing: conviction. If they believe Hafley is the guy, they have to pull the trigger, and fast. The longer they wait, the more opportunities open up elsewhere, and other teams aren't waiting around. Tennessee is finalizing their top 3, Atlanta's moved Stefanski up in their process, and the Steelers are aggressively exploring all options. Hafley is a wanted man, and if Miami doesn't close this out soon, someone else will. Now here's the wild card. What if Hafley says no? That scenario throws the entire search back into chaos. Miami would need to pivot fast. Maybe Chris Shula gets elevated back into the conversation. Maybe Jesse Minter, who has been quietly climbing coaching radars, gets another look. Maybe even a surprise name enters late. But for now, all energy is focused on Hafley, and that tells us just how much confidence Sullivan has in him. And as we continue to monitor this rapidly developing situation, it's becoming crystal clear this isn't just about hiring a coach. This is about setting a tone for accountability, for culture, for identity. Miami has spent years searching for that elusive formula: offensive genius here, defensive mastermind there, but nothing has quite clicked. With Jeff Hafley, the Dolphins seem to believe they found someone who can finally bring cohesion across the board. The interesting part, Hafley isn't trying to be flashy. He's not the type to dominate headlines or go viral for locker room speeches. What he brings is structure, discipline, and clarity, something Miami has lacked in crucial moments over the last few seasons. Late game collapses, procedural penalties, questionable timeouts. Those are the details that haunt teams in January. Hafley, known for his meticulous approach and communication skills, could be the guy to clean that up. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time Hafley has been tasked with fixing something broken. At Boston College, he inherited a program stuck in neutral. Within a short span, he changed the culture, built a top-tier defensive identity, and established a sense of purpose within the locker room. His players bought in. They trusted him. That type of leadership might be exactly what Miami needs, not just to compete in the AFC East, but to finally become a team that wins the games that matter most. But of course, the NFL is a different beast. College coaches often struggle with the leap, the speed, the complexity, the pressure. Everything intensifies. The success of Hafley in Miami will hinge on 2 key factors: who he brings with him and how quickly the players buy into his system. And that's where the importance of this hire reaches beyond Hafley himself. It's about the domino effect. If he gets the job, who becomes his offensive coordinator? Who takes control of special teams, an area where Miami has consistently ranked near the bottom in recent years? Who fills out the rest of his staff to ensure there's balance, experience, and stability? One name that has come up internally is Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, who is also set to interview with Miami. Brady has NFL experience, knows how to develop quarterbacks, and could pair well with a defensive-minded head coach like Hafley. That's the kind of partnership that could make or break Hafley's transition to the pros. Another question fans are asking is this: does Hafley's defensive pedigree mean a complete overhaul of the Dolphins' current scheme? With the talent Miami already has on that side of the ball, players like Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, and Bradley Chubb, this defense isn't starting from scratch. In fact, if anything, it's built to win now. Hafley's challenge would be refining it, maximizing it, and plugging the few holes that have kept this unit from becoming elite. And on the offensive side, whoever the new play caller is must not only elevate Tua but also develop